want to show you guys how I install the pod buttons. Several ways to do it. This is how I did it. I first put the buttons in a plastic bag. See, that one's in plastic. That's a Ziploc. And then I put them in where I wanted them. And then on the back side, what I did is I put some aluminum foil tape over the pod buttons, the back side of it, and then I took some fiberglass mat and I glassed up on here. So now when I take the electronics out, they'll go under that glass nice and snug. And then I'll put 2 screws down here. But the reason why I did the glass part is because you really don't need screws up top and bottom. You just need it to be snug in one of the spots. So it's going to fit in there real tight. And the same thing over here. So it's going to go in there at an angle, and then it's going to be locked in at the top. And then I'll drill out 2 little holes at the bottom, and then I'll countersink the little screws pointing up, and the nut will come on from the top. Hope that makes sense. There's many different ways you can do it. A lot of people epoxy these in, but the only problem with that is you can never service your boards. They're kind of stuck in place. I want to be able to take mine out, and that's why I did it like this. But again, there's probably 100 different ways to do this, and yeah, that's how I'm doing it. I know some of these pods have a backside. I really don't like those. There's reasons why I don't like them. It's because when they make them with the backside, the inside is really weak. I've seen them really weakly made, and then it's impossible to get these in. I mean, it's a pain in the butt just to do cuts with it open. So I prefer to have it open. Later, if you want to put like a piece of sheet metal, I mean, that's fine. You can put a piece of sheet metal in there and put some little anchors in here for the screw on. You can do that if you want it concealed. You could even glass it back in if you want, but you're not going to really see it. It's going to be in the car like that, so it's not a big deal to me to have the backside closed. Alright, it's been about an hour or two, and I let the glass dry, and now I took the plastic out and the buttons. You don't want to wait too long, and you can see there's a tab on both sides. All you have to do is cut it straighter and make it look nice. And I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to slide these in. Just like that. There's one side, this side. I'll do this side from the back side so you guys can see how I did it. All you do is you take it, slide it up in there, just like that. So that'll hold it from the top. And then I'll use some little machine screws. I'm using 440 by a 1/2 inch. They're real small. So what I did is I drilled the holes a little bit bigger down here. There's 2 of them. And what I'm going to do is take this out now. Alright, next I use some JB Weld 5-minute epoxy. And I epoxied the screws in there. Recessed just a hair, so it's flush. And the way you do it, you gauge how big the end of the bolt is. And I think I used 1364 is what I used, and I drilled it just a little bit into the glass, and then I put the bolt upside down inside the glass, and then I epoxied it in. So I'm going to let this sit overnight, even though it dries in 5 minutes. Alright guys, here's the pod with the buttons installed. And I do got some imperfections that I gotta put some filler in. That's normal. When you cut out fiberglass, it does tend to want to chip on edges. A couple little chips there. No big deal, just take the buttons out, put some aluminum tape right here on the edge, and then you can put your filler up on there. Not that hard to do. Show you the back side. You can see how I have this. It slides up under there, and then I got the screws where I want them. So I know there's a lot of ways people do this. There's probably a dozen or 2 different ways you can mount these into your pod, but that's the way I came up with for this particular pod buttons is, and I like it, you know, it just slides right in up under the glass, and then I got that there, and it screws right into there, and it comes out real easy. And you can see my work down there. You can see where the bolt's sticking up. You can see the epoxy over the bolt. Same thing on this side. Again, if you're afraid that the epoxy's not gonna hold, and it should, because it's really good stuff, especially JB Weld. That stuff works really good. Just get a piece of fiberglass cloth and just put it right over the bolt so it hits to the bottom. You just need a real small, you know, just a little bit bigger than the actual screw, and then just get some resin, just go around that glass, and then that should keep it. But I really don't think it needs it, but that's just for added protection if you're afraid that this can come loose, because epoxy sometimes can come loose. But the way I drilled it in there, it's pretty deep, so I don't think I'll have that problem. But yeah, it came out real good. See, that pops right up. You can even do it with one hand, and then you just come out like that. And I did cut it last night, so it's nice and straight. Doesn't look too bad either. Now, if you were to glass that in there and you had a gap and the buttons weren't sticking out, you could always put some filler in there, or some foam tape or something to push it a little bit more out if you happen to not make it close enough where it sticks out far enough. Watch, let me put this back in. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Say once you get it in there and you got the bottoms tight and you still have space between there and it's not sticking out on top, which this one seems to stick out just fine. But if it didn't, all you would have to do is put some foam tape up under the glass, so when you put it in there, it would hit this and push it more farther out. Or you could put some filler there, skim coat of filler. That would make it go farther out as well. I could see somebody that doesn't know how to glass doing this, and they could still have a gap. Anyways, that's my project that I did over the weekend, and it turned out good. But next project I'll be doing is I'll be taking this 3/4 season pod, which goes into my convertible, and I'll be mounting the boards in this one. So that should be interesting to do. And I'll probably take a video for any of you guys out there that want to watch. But for now, this is Jacob at Knight Rider Shop. Talk to you guys later. If you got any questions, let me know. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more videos of how-to videos on different Knight Rider parts that I assemble. Alright, talk to you guys later.